Hi everyone, in today's video we're going to talk about map to type in TypeScript. We're going to learn what it is and how to use it. To follow along this video, you're going to need as prerequisites, know how to create a union type and know how to use the key of keywords in TypeScript. Now, to create a union type, let's say here, we're going to create work status type, and then we're going to give it to value completed and pending, and then we're gonna create a constant set do wash, and we're gonna type it with work status type. And then you can see when we want to assign it a value, TypeScript suggests us to select completed or pending, and if we give it a value which is neither completed or pending, we are getting here a warning that we have to select a value which is either completed or pending. Here you can see the error disappear. This is how we create a union type. And to create a union type of another type, we're going to use keywords, key of keywords. Now let's create a type here, actor type, and then we assign it three keys: name, gender, is going to be a string, and color. It is going to be a string too. And here you can see we're just creating here an actor type alias. How can we get a union type? The union type of actor type, it is name, gender, and color. This is the union type of this. And to get a union type of this, we're gonna use key of type actor type union. So union, and then key of actor type. And this is how we can create a union type of another type. Because here, if we create a type, let's say actor key, a constant actor key, and we type it with actor type union, you're going to see that they suggest us to three value: color, gender, and name. And this is how we can create a union type. Now let's see how to create a mapped type with union type and key of. We're going to use these two concepts in order to understand how mapped type works. Now here, let's create another type, super actor type. And our super actor type, it is going to have these three keys right here, but it is going to have also another key, a special key, movement. It's going to be a string, a tuple. And you can see that here we are just having here duplicated keys within the super actor. And to avoid these duplicated keys, we are going to use mapped type. And this is the syntax of a mapped type: square brackets, and then here we are going to say key in actor union, and then we're gonna say it is going to be string. Here actor union, it is returning name, gender, and color. And then here the in operator plays a role of an iterator. It is iterating through name, gender, and color. And then here we are saying that the name key, it is going to be a string, gender string, and color, it's going to be also string. And here if we create a constant, say super actor, and we type it with super actor type, you're going to see we are getting the same thing. You're going to say gender, male, and color, you can say black. We're getting the same thing here. Then we change the name with Rambo. Yeah, this is how we write Rambo, I think. Okay, this is our super actor object here, and we're gonna use intersection type to add the movements here, the movements key. Here you can see we're getting here an error. Let me remove this first to be clear. Here we are creating a union type. We are saying that our super actor type, it is going to have name, gender, and color, and these keys are going to have string value. That's what we are doing here, right here. And here you can see, got here name, gender, and color. If we remove one key, we are going to get an error. And here we are just adding here an intersection type to say that our super actor type, it is going to have also another key, which is the movement. It is a tuple, up and down. You can see the error disappear. Now let's take another example. Suppose you are creating an application. Let's say type user model. Your application has two models. User model has three keys. Let's say name, email, gender. It is a string. You got another model, type employee model. And then your employee model also, it is going to need these three keys right here, but also the employee model has another special key, address. You can say here address 1, New York City, and address 2, San Francisco. Here we can say you do this, you can do this string. It's going to be string here. You can see that we have here readdends, and to avoid readdends, as we have name, email, and gender keys within the user model, we can create directly a mapped type from the user model. We need to map the user model, and to do so, we're gonna do this. Let's copy this, and then we're gonna use the mapped type syntax. Then we're gonna say key in key of. First, we have to get the union type of user model. Here we are getting here a union type of user model, and then we say that all our keys are going to be a type of string, and that we can create a mapped type from user model. Here it means here we're getting here name, email, and gender. Here we're getting key, and we use the in operator. It's iterating through these keys, name, email, and gender. And here we can use the intersection type here. We're gonna add here address like this, and we can create an employee model. Let's say here we have our employee model, which is here, let's say employee 1, and then we're gonna type it with employee model to see if it works. We can get here, we can pass here Ben, email, and gender, male, and it is an address 1. We're gonna say New York City, but also it is address 2, San Francisco. And then you can see we just tapped our address, our employee 1 object with employee model type. Now let's say within the employee model type, we need to make the name, email, and gender optional. It means even we don't pass it to the employee object, we are not going to get an error. We already learned what is an optional type here. Let's say here we got an inf, let's say a type, let's say agent type, and the agent type has name, string, and email. We're going to say also string. And to create an optional type, we're going to use this modifier operator. Here we are saying that the name, the email, it is going to be optional. And to do that within a union type, and to do that within a mapped type, here, right here, we need to make name, email, and gender optional. We are going to pass it right here. And if we remove these free keys, we don't get an error because here these free keys are optional. You can see here name, email, and gender are optional. They can be undefined. This is how you can create optional with map to type. Here we are getting here an optional here. But also if we remove this, TSA is going to warn us that we have to put these free keys right here. You can see. Now let me give you one more last example before we finish. Let's say here we got another type, actor type, and then our actor type. The first key, it is optional, and the second one, it is optional. Let's say agent type here. But how can we make these keys required? We are going to use map to type because map to type has a possibility to iterate through keys of a type. Because here, if we create here agent, and then we type it with agent type, and you can see here, we can or cannot pass the name or email. And if we need to make these two properties required, we are going to use a map to type. Let's say here, we are going to create a type and then make required agents. And then here, we're going to pass here a type. And then we're going to do this. We're going to remove optional keys right here. It's the syntax of a map to type key in T. T here represents agent type in key of T. In key of T, we are getting first here name and email as union type, and then we are going to say that we remove optional like this minus question mark, this operator here. We say that we remove optional key, optional operator within the agent type, because here when we are going to call make required agent type and we pass in the agent type here, you can see we are getting here an error. Is missing the following property from make required agent type. Here we are missing the name and email because here right here the make required agents remove optional property. That's why here we are getting here an error. And then you can see we need to pass the name and email to remove this error. And then here our name and email are not no more optional. And that's pretty much it, guys, for this video. I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe, and I see you in the next one.